You know that saying, the best laid plans of mice and men? I don't really know the rest of the saying. That's the only part I know, but my best laid plans just went. My plans blowing up isn't always a bad thing. I was shooting a video in the bus.
The lawn scattered with our bedroom.
And right in the middle of it, I got the word.
The kitchen table's in the driveway.
Everything is worked out, and we can finally pick a date.
Books are hanging from the mailbox.
The house can go on the market.
Stuffed with birthday cards that you made.
So we picked a date, and it's soon. So now my whole energy, everything, has to shift to getting everything out of this house, emptying it all out. Today is Friday. I have to get everything I possibly can out by Monday. And you can see there's still a lot of shit in this house. One thing I really need to get under control, one thing I'm drowning in, is ephemera.
Ephemera, noun. Things that exist or are used or enjoyed for only a short time.
Ephemera is, things that are ephemeral. It's antique or vintage paper, advertisements, old labels, maps, usually things that were made to expire at a certain point and be replaced, but also photos and letters and postcards, things that express a particular moment in time, almost always made of paper. Now, I want to be clear, this isn't personal stuff with deep attachments. The family photos I've dealt with already. The dozens of newspapers my dad saved in the attic, yeah, those are mostly in the trash, unless they're historically significant, and then they get added to the ephemera, because this is stuff that I sell, this is merchandise. When I had my store, people would want me to come to their house because they had an estate to get rid of. It was always paper, lots of different pieces of paper, saved for one reason or another, and there were always lots of magazines. I'd take the magazines, I'd take any other pieces of paper that looked interesting because I figured I could sell them. But I discovered that I couldn't get anybody to give me $4 for a 1960s copy of Life magazine. But I could get them to give me $4 for a single ad with good colors and nice graphics ripped out of that magazine. So Life turned out to be way more valuable parted out than left whole. I'd tear out the ads, trim them, package them in archival plastic with a card behind, and that's how I ended up with a lot of this stuff. It wasn't stuff I was looking for, it just kind of appeared. There are passionate collectors for pretty much any kind of paper out there. Well, for example, I know a guy who collects only old insurance policies and another one that collects only old driver's licenses. That's all he collects. I don't know really why people get so specific, like the receipts, the train schedules. We put our hands on so much paper every day. The paper we choose to save, or maybe we don't choose to save, it just gets left around. It's very human in a way. It documents the times we live in, the things we like to do, better probably than anything else. I planned to sell ephemera in Bus Life. It's one of the things I figured I'd hang on to because it's practically free and you can get really decent money for it if you're not in a hurry. But the problem is paper is heavy and it takes up way more space than you think, and these plastic archival things are really slippery. So I'm keeping some things, mostly weird stuff that just kind of strikes my fancy, but mostly it's time to get rid of it, along with every single other thing in this house. At this point, I'm not going to worry about money anymore. I just need everything gone. So I put all the postcards in a box and listed it on Facebook for free, and somebody who collects postcards came and got them. I put the recipes and the cookbooks in a box, and that went to a cookbook collector. The ads, the sheet music, the art magazines, the celebrity magazines. People came, they took everything. They came and took pretty much everything in the house. So there's hardly anything left.
We will stay till the furniture's gone, and we'll wait till the clothes are up. What I was saying, all the things that I thought went wrong.
You remember those chairs. I cried over those chairs at Brimfield, over how nobody wanted these beautiful things made by hand 200 years ago by somebody skilled and passionate. And that's why I don't think I'll ever be able to call myself a minimalist. I have too much respect for what humans do with their hands and their imaginations to ever think of something like that is just stuff. But respecting something doesn't mean I have to have it in my bus. I mean, it's a bus. It only fits so much. I didn't make my money back on those chairs. I gave them away for free on Facebook. But they didn't go to a landfill, and I had a hand in that. Somebody's beautiful 200-year-old work is going to have a new life in Jennifer's breakfast nook. It's kind of appropriate. They're just about the last thing to go. It's empty now. The countdown begins. For real.